Hey folks, this is Colin Richards, president and founder of Lord & Richards, and I am thrilled to be with you once again on this exciting episode of the Lord & Richards Show. And today we're going to be diving once again into concerns of particular relevance to business owners, but that also bleed over to all investors. Now, you know, if you've listened to this show for any length of time, that here at Lord & Richards, we're meeting with people just like you every single day, whether business owners or just ordinary folks working a job. We want to help you retire successfully and financially independent, whether that's on the doorstep, whether you're already in it, or whether it's out in the distant future. What we're going to do is we're going to meet with you to help you develop a plan. You see, because the folks I'm talking to every single day, just like you, are concerned. They're concerned about things going on in our world. They're concerned about things going on in our politics, concerned about things going on in our markets, and they're valid concerns. But the good news is that all of the problems that we face and confront relative to your retiring financially independent, well, they can be dealt with in advance. And planning to fail is what happens when you fail to plan. And so what we're going to do is we're going to build a plan to achieve financial independence so you can retire without worry. And here at Lord & Richards, distinctively, we do that from a biblical point of view. We bring biblical ethics, values, and focus so you can do amazing things for God with the bountiful resources He's already entrusted to you. So here in this particular episode, we're going to continue a theme we began in a prior episode on kind of the intelligent side, the intellectual side of business. And this applies to investing because we want to have the mindset of a business owner if we invest in somebody's company, right? Whether you're going to be in a diversified portfolio of stocks and bonds, or whether you're actually helping out, your cousin's new business startup, these are businesses and you're the investor. And so one of the things that we emphasized last time was the critical need for optics. That's not just visualization, the ability to dream and imagine. Certainly, most entrepreneurs are like that. They can visualize what the future might look like. We call that the land of Oz, right? Going back to the days of Dorothy, the land of Oz, this beautiful place that we envision in our mind, whether it's with our portfolio or whether it's with you as a business owner. And so in order to see, though, we have to move past visualization to now the ability to see what others don't. Being able to visualize is not what we're talking about. We're talking about seeing ahead, seeing down the road, right? Foresight. And so John Maxwell taught us, leaders see more and see before. And what you don't see will cost you money, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your investing. And so the language of business we learned is accounting. That's the dashboard that we have. If you're an investor, you're looking at statements and so forth. What we want to do is begin with this question. What is the obstacle that is in the way that is keeping me from getting from point A to point B? You see, because point B is Oz, right? That's the land of Oz. That's what you visualized. But what you need to see is, what are the barriers? What are the things standing in your way? You have to identify what we might call the problem that is, as opposed to the problem that isn't. A lot of times what we see as problems are actually just symptoms because we're asking ourselves the wrong questions. We're asking tactical questions, things that are very much in the foreground rather than strategic questions that encompass the whole. Here's an example. My sales aren't good enough. Okay, maybe that's your business, right? And you've identified what you believe is a problem. But what that problem is really a symptom. Inadequate sales may be a symptom of a greater problem. For example, there are many possible problems that is keeping your business from selling enough. What's the promise I'm making? Am I delivering on that promise? How could I deliver on it better? What's the difference between my business and everyone else that really makes the difference? You see, those get to the heart of the problem. And here's a great question you can ask yourself. Why should people discriminate in my favor? In other words, buy from me as opposed to somebody else. See, the key here is to find the question to ask yourself that will give insight a different kind of vision, right? The optics, so that you can build the machine, the yellow brick road that will get you from one point to another, from operator to owner, to thinking like an owner, a business owner. It's the same thing with investing, right? Often we encounter problems that are really just symptoms that can be solved in the context of building that machine, the yellow brick road, what we call a financial independence roadmap. Now, here's something that's not fun. The answers to the questions keep changing because the environment keeps changing, right? Consider COVID, right? Did that change the environment? Did it change the answers to the questions? Right? Our question might be, will people buy my product? Yes. The answer changes to no because maybe your product was made irrelevant during the pandemic, right? So learn to what we call smell your own breath. That doesn't sound very attractive, but it's about being candid and honest with yourself, right? Before you go out on a date as a kid, you want to check and make sure your breath is nice. Well, this is about being candid and honest, asking yourself the tough questions, because the person with the fewest blind spots is going to win this game. You see, business is an intellectual sport, and we don't want to play this with our emotions because we're going to get killed. And here's another way to look at it. If we think from an athletic standpoint, a team standpoint, the team with the best defense, this is true in athletics, generally wins more frequently than the team with the best offense. Isn't that interesting? So here's some questions to ask yourself in closing on this episode. As I step out into the future, as I'm looking ahead, what's the upside to what I'm considering doing? What's the downside to what I'm considering doing? And can I live with that downside? Learn also to have a defensive mindset as you step out into the future, as you get optics onto your business. Don't go dreamily down the road without a plan in place to avoid the pitfalls, to avoid the problems, the traps that are going to hinder your business. I've been delighted to chat with you today on this subject of the optics of your business, learning how to see clearly, right? But we're helping people just like you do that every single day, whether business owners that we're counseling and consulting, or whether ordinary investors who are just looking to have a great retirement. We would love to help you. My team and I would love to surround you with the care that you deserve. It really just starts with a simple phone call.